Welcome to the Forward Always podcast. Each week, a new episode will be published to give you the inspiration, motivation, and drive to help you on your journey. My name is Yasmina Aude, a proud mom of 3, entrepreneur, and a motivational coach. My hope is with each life story, interview, or talk shared with you on this podcast, I can help you keep going and keep moving forward, always. So marriage isn't easy. We go through lots of difficulties, we pass through lots of ups and downs. But when do we know it's over? When is it time to move on? How do I move on? These questions become more difficult once a child is involved. Divorce, motherhood, and children is a combination that you need to work around with so much care. It's not easy. As a mom and a child of divorced parents, asking myself these questions and actually following them through was an extremely difficult stage in my life. But the hardest part was, after all the drama, how to raise my children through this divorce, psychologically, socially, and mentally, through the aftermath. I know society is constantly changing. We are moving forward slowly, but we are moving forward. But I got a divorce almost 13 years ago. And to be a divorced woman in Lebanon, or in the Arab world in general, was such a big taboo. I lost so many friends that, didn't want to be associated with all the drama that was happening, or they didn't want to take sides. And, you start to appreciate those who stood by you, that, through all the drama and the darkness, they stayed objective and they held your hand. And, silver lining out of it all is that's what you have to hold on to. So, yeah, society is changing, but as I said before, I am a child of divorce. So I do remember when my mom got the divorce so many years ago, she was depressed, because society was so harsh on women, especially divorced women. And I think I took that with me and I let it sink into me and make me feel so guilty and a burden that I carried with me, that I had to work on it, that I had to look deeper into myself and say, I'm not a bad person, and my ex-husband isn't a bad person. We were just not meant for each other. As I said, marriage is not easy, and we're constantly growing. But I do believe we reach a time when if we don't grow together, we grow apart, and that's exactly what happened with us. And there'll always be drama. I don't think any divorce is easy. And I remember when I first started talking about this topic on my blog, people would tell me, don't glamorize it. No, it's really tough. I remember the pain, the agony, some of the hurtful words that we exchanged. But then you need to look further, because there's a child involved. And we need to find a way to go back to the people we were before all the drama and find a way to be bigger than that. But again, if everything was perfect and everything was going well and we were getting along, then we wouldn't have gotten a divorce. So the advice I'd like to share, and that if anyone does ask me when it comes to this subject, is how do you survive it? How do you get through it with your head held high and your dignity? You need to be aware. You need to be consciously aware at every step. And sometimes you need to help your partner be aware. And very simply, with all the personal drama you're going through, don't forget that tiny hand that looks up to both of you and his daddy. In the end, motherhood and fatherhood are a privilege, not a punishment. So I remember as a child, If someone would took my mom's side, they would talk so badly about my father, and that would affect me. That would tell me, but okay, you might not love him anymore, but that's my father. So throughout my divorce and throughout the aftermath, and now so many years have passed, and I can say I'm happy where we are. We do communicate, and we have a relationship, me and his father, as co-parents. No matter what, no matter how hurtful we might have been to each other, there's a little child that still looks up to us as they're his mom, as his dad. And once we break that in him, it's going to cause so many issues for him later that no amount of pain in the world is worth it. So as a child of divorced parents, I remember each argument, each insult my parents used to use against each other. But in the end, I will and should always love and respect them equally. Don't forget that. Take a deep breath and try to find a way past the conflict. Sometimes you might lose your cool, sometimes they might lose their cool, but find a way to communicate. Talk on a deeper level. Don't talk about the superficiality. Don't talk about ego. Talk about something deeper. This child that you need to think about. You might have hurt each other a lot as a couple. Don't hurt your children throughout it. Again, not to glamorize divorce, but to be honest, I remember once asking my ex-husband a couple of years back, telling him, aren't you happier now? Aren't you happy that we just did this? And on some level, I do believe that we were carrying so much. Our marriage happened under specific circumstances, which I believe each person has their own story. But once you let go of all the drama, everything that was, making you so sad in that relationship, and moving on, life is too short to be angry. Life is too short to constantly be fighting over little things, when a relationship, again, is not easy, but there's a certain limit of peace, of serenity that you should have. I don't want my son to be living in a home that there's always tension, there's always screaming, there's always fighting, there's always some issue happening around him. And that's how it was in the end. And that's when you decide, you know what? We need to move on. I'll be happier, you'll be happier. Set our egos aside and put our son's happiness as a priority. I think one of the things that, that happens when you're getting a divorce is so many people interfere. And then you let your ego play a big role. You let your ego, especially when we're living in a society that is a patriarchal society like the Arab world, and more specifically I'm focusing on Lebanon because that's where I grew up and where we got the divorce. It's not easy to feel that you failed at this, or oh my God, she moved on, he moved on. It's not a race. You need to go past that, to be the bigger person. But sometimes being the bigger person isn't easy when you are clouded with so much pain, with so much hurt, because for you to reach a point that you want the divorce, and when you go through the proceedings and all the things that have been said, you forget that once upon a time, you took the conscious decision to get married. You took the conscious decision to have a child. So now take the conscious decision and be responsible for the decisions that you made. We all make mistakes. But understanding that you made a mistake, understanding that now it's time to stand up and, okay, I made a mistake and I'm not going to live with it for the rest of my life. And this isn't working out for either of us. And even if it's a one-sided thing, you're just fed up and you just want to walk away, you have that right. You have that right without being the selfish, without being the bad guy of the story that you got up and left. As long as you continue to consciously take responsibility of your life, of the relationship you have with your child's father or parent or mother, if any guys are listening to us now, you need to understand that once upon a time, you guys were in love. Once upon a time, you were able to discuss, you were able to talk, you were able to get past things. Go back to that. Put away your ego. And you can see that I'm focusing a lot on ego because it does play a big role on, half the issues that you have once you are going through this tormentful period in your life. But once the dust settles and you look around and you say, oh, okay, maybe it was a good decision. I'm not that happy now, but I feel that I will be. And I do feel that I deserve someone who understands me. I feel that I deserve to be happy. And that's something that's very important. So how do you get past it? How do you get past all the anger? It's surround yourself with people that don't throw fuel to the fire. You don't want to add more drama to your life. When people all around you, your family, your friends are constantly taking your side and just, pushing you to do things, that's when the major issues happen. So something that I would definitely and always say, not just when you're going through a divorce or passing through it, in life in general, make sure you're surrounded with a healthy group of people that want your benefit and your child's benefit, and also can see objectively and see your partner or your ex-partner's benefit. Sometimes you need that comfort zone to go in and not have too much drama, just to cool down. So again, I don't want to be glamorizing divorce because it's not glamorous at all. It's hell on earth. It's going through something that is so painful and bringing out so many baggage and things that you have just put away for so many years, and putting it in the forefront and getting every single bad thing that's happened in your relationship and throwing it right in front of you. Before taking the decision to get a divorce, go to counseling, go to therapy. Both of you, not just you. Don't ever let your partner put the blame on you. It takes two to tango. So if a relationship has fallen apart, it's not just one person. It's both of you that have done something, that have failed at it. I failed at my marriage. But I'm going to find a way to succeed in my divorce. So that's it in the end. Remember, you took the decision to get married. You took the decision to have a child. Take that decision. Take full responsibility of it. Both of you. Again, both of you. And find a way to keep moving forward in this new reality, this new life that you have. And once you pass through something so exhausting to your soul as divorce is, never give up on love again. I am blessed to be remarried now, and I am super blessed and happy that my ex-husband is remarried, and I'm happy for them because I see how they are together, and I see that this is the relationship you need. Just like the relationship that I have. We got married. It was a mistake. We tried. But life goes on. We keep going. We keep going for our son. We keep going for us. We just keep moving forward. I do hope I was able to share some of my insight about this subject, even though I rarely talk about it. But I just felt that, sometimes we need to talk about these things. We need to bring them out in the open and discuss what we're going through. So as always, thank you so much for listening. And don't forget, if you do like this podcast, if you do like this episode, don't forget to give me a follow, give me a like, and I would be super grateful, as always. Sending you all my love. Take care.